The Attorney General also addressed the opioid crisis, talking about how New York has turned down Purdue Pharma and the Sackler family's offer of a $3 billion settlement for drug treatment, rehab, and prevention programs. The Attorney General believes the company and family should pay more to cover services in states and communities across the country impacted by the opioid epidemic, and she seemed optimistic that New York would be able to get more. She is hopeful that she'll be able to distribute that money across the state, as we heard her say at that roundtable, for detox, for treatment facilities, and more. You are also chair of SPARK. That is a coalition of community leaders here in the area working to combat the opioid crisis and raise awareness. The hope must be that a bigger settlement would translate into more money coming to the North Country for more services.
Yes, and that's certainly helpful. We have been blessed with many resources that have come to our region, like the facility in Schuyler Falls opening, the treatment facility. We needed that desperately. And a number of other initiatives that we've seen happen. There's a recovery center, MHAB.
Michael Carpenter in the Northeast Group,
correct.
You had mentioned.
And the recovery center, which is part of the Champlain Valley Family Center, and MHAB are on the same campus. MHAB's a transitional living facility for people who are struggling with substance use disorder or mental health issues. And the recovery center is on that campus. And I understand that the numbers are extraordinary for people using the recovery center. So we have been able to bring some great resources to the region with money that has come from the state and the federal government. So if we're able to get some of this settlement money into the region, there's no doubt in my mind that we'll be able to do great things with it. What's interesting now is heroin and opioid continue to be an epidemic and a crisis, but what we're seeing is the beginnings of a shift. Law enforcement people tell me they're beginning to see more cocaine and meth, and a little less heroin and opioids and a little more cocaine and meth. And we knew that was going to happen. So the issue of substance use disorder and addiction needs to be looked at broadly, not just heroin and opioids. They continue to be a major issue, but there's other substances. Alcohol is often overlooked. And alcohol abuse in our region is a major issue. And so substance use overall needs to be looked at broadly.
And you mentioned meth. We've heard from Levi Ritter, the police chief in Plattsburgh, the concern about the increase in the use of meth, that perhaps addicts scared of getting heroin that has additives mixed in with it, additives like fentanyl, have turned to other drugs, cocaine and meth being one. And the manufacturer of meth has changed, has evolved, and they are seeing cases where mobile meth labs are being used to manufacture meth in vehicles, and then the plastic bottles are getting left behind with the dangerous chemicals still inside, and that presents a danger to anyone that may encounter them lying by the roadside where they're left, yes, walking along collecting bottles. And so there is that new worry about these portable meth labs and what they're leaving behind.
Yes, they call it one-pot meth labs, and again, they're manufactured in a soda bottle or a soft drink bottle, and very easy to do, unfortunately very easy to do, and the ingredients are pretty easy to get. And what we're seeing, and it's a real danger, is that those soft drink bottles are being discarded after use and left on the side of the road and other places. And what is potentially dangerous there is an explosion and any number of other opportunities to be exposed to really dangerous chemicals. So if you think about kids or groups who are cleaning the side of the road, Adopt a Highway and other programs, coming across these soft drink bottles and thinking that there's liquid left over from the soft drink or something else, and then potentially opening that bottle and having an explosion or exposure to dangerous chemicals. So we want to raise awareness. We want people to enjoy the quality of life that we have in this region. We want them to go out and enjoy the outdoors, clean up the highways, but we want them to be aware of this new danger that's out there. So it's one pot meth is something that people need to be aware of and be careful around.
You mentioned 2 new facilities that have opened within the past year. The Champlain Valley Family Center's Resource Campus in Schuyler Falls, 18 beds there for treatment. Also, Michael Carpenter, the Northeast Group, MHAB, as you mentioned, providing residential housing for folks who are addicts in recovery and need that added help of a place potentially to live and other services that are provided there to help them get back on their feet. At the roundtable, the discussion came up about a detox unit, and that there is still a need for a detox unit here in Clinton County or in the 3-county area. Is that one of the top priorities now?
It is there, and we do have that need. When somebody needs detox, they need it immediately, and we don't have it locally, and it is sometimes very difficult to find beds, and people are either not getting in, or they're having to travel long distances far away from our region to be able to access the detox. So we need it here in this region, we need it close by, and we're hopeful that we're going to be able to do that. And potentially it can be a add-on, if you will, to what we're doing in Schuyler Falls that the Champlain Valley Family Center is doing. Currently they don't have a detox program there, but potentially that could be added there.
That's for more short-term, immediate
Exactly.
care.
And it's medically driven. It's medical stabilization so that people can be detoxed from dangerous drugs for a matter of days, so that they can become more stable physically and emotionally and mentally, so that they can be prepared for the next phase of treatment.
Which is what Schuyler Falls provides.
Correct.